Very good. Okay, good morning. My name is Enos Harris, and I am a hearing officer for San Francisco Public Works. Today, Cerise Waiters is serving as clerk of this hearing. This hearing is being conducted virtually via Zoom and is being recorded. A link to the recording will be made available afterward on the San Francisco Public Works website. As this is a virtual hearing, there is no sign-in sheet. If you would like to receive notification of the results of today's hearing, please send an email to the address listed on your hearing notice. Today's public hearing is being held to consider three items. Order number 30015 to consider the removal of two street trees with one replacement adjacent to 256 Bemis Street. Order 30016 to consider the removal of four street trees with replacement adjacent to 2139 Balboa Street. And order number 300118 to consider the removal of nine significant trees without replacement at 1325 Bosworth Street. My role as a hearing officer is to gather facts, listen to all testimonies, and make recommendations to the Director of Public Works. I will not make any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings and my recommendation to the Director, who will make the final determinations. Once the Director has decided, the department will notify you if you have submitted contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows. Public Works staff will present the case. There is no time limit for this presentation. I will then call on the applicant or appellant or property owner to speak. Finally, I will hear from any member of the public or witness who wishes to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. The clerk will monitor the time and will notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining. If you are a party to the proceeding and would like to use visual materials, please let me know before you speak. You will still have the standard 3 minutes to present your comments. If you are using a computer, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom when I call for public comments. If you are dialing in by phone, press *9 to raise your hands. When I recognize you, and if you are muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. All comments and questions should be directed at me, not to the applicant or to Public Works staff. If I believe a question is appropriate, I will ask it. If you cannot complete your statement within the 3-minute limit, you may submit written comments to me by the end of this hearing. After all comments have been heard, I will close the item. Before we begin the hearing items, I will accept general public comments on matters that are within the department's jurisdiction, but not on today's agenda. Are there any public comments at this time? Okay, so we will begin the hearing. I will now begin today's hearing, order number 30015. May I have Public Works staff present the case?
Hi, good morning. My name is Brian Ong, and I'm the Urban Forestry Staff Representative. Sorry, my camera is having some technical difficulties, so I won't be able to turn it on at this moment. But before we go into the hearing orders, I'm going to kind of like go over a few slides, informational slides. So let me share my screen. And you can see this.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so this is for the San Francisco Public Works tree removal hearing for July 1st, 2026. So Public Works goal is to ensure safe, clean, and green infrastructure in the public right-of-way. Urban Forestry's mission is to preserve and grow the urban forest while balancing the safety and needs of a growing and evolving city. So this is just like a map of our street tree SF. So basically the city has taken over responsibility of all the street trees in the public right of way since 2017. And so we have set aside a $19 million annual budget to maintain the trees and prune them on a cycle. And so basically, a tree ordinance establishes authorization and standards for addressing a wide range of issues regarding trees. San Francisco's urban forestry ordinance is codified under Article 16 of the Public Works Code. So here's just like a little bit of Article 16 in our ordinance. A removal permit is required to remove street trees, significant trees, and landmark trees. As of 2022 February, if the department is removing a tree, a replacement is required within 120 days or added and tracked on a delayed replacement tree report. If a tree cannot be planted in situ, then it must be replanted at a nearby location. Also, if the property owner or applicant is granted a removal permit for removal of a healthy tree, the department shall require a replacement tree of equivalent value to the one removed or impose an in lieu fee. So a basic example is if the owner pays the difference between the appraised value and the subject tree minus the value of the replacement trees, the value of the replacement tree is based on the standard in lieu fee for a 24-inch box tree or installation replacement size. So this is kind of like our tree removal permit. In most cases, the tree removal will not be granted if the tree is healthy and structurally sound. So here's a kind of like our tree removal criteria. If the tree is dead, dying, and not thriving, poor species for location, growth, or no longer sustainable, damage to private property, or if the tree is hazardous, if the tree is small, less than 4 inches in diameter, and the construction requires removal, if the tree can be replaced in kind, the tree will be destabilized by construction, or if there's no feasible workaround, the applicant must provide sufficient supporting documents if that is true. If the tree is in good to fair condition, the applicant must pay appraised value for the loss of the tree. So basically, that's our criteria for tree removals. And if a removal permit is granted, the property owner is required to plant a replacement and pay the difference between appraised value and the new site based on the in lieu fee structure. If a tree site is to be lost and the tree is in good condition, the appraised value or an in lieu fee will be assessed, whichever is greater. Example is the tree approved for a new driveway. Also, if street tree SF removal, BUF must plant a replacement tree or locate a replacement site marked as delayed replacement. If a removal permit is being granted to a property owner for removal of a dead, dying, hazardous street tree, the tree is required to be replaced. And if not sufficient space, there is no in lieu fee assessed, and the property owner is not required to replace it off-site because the tree is dead, dying, or hazardous. So some common defects in street trees. There's poor taper with basal defects, girdling roots, infrastructure, root decay. There's large stems with poor unions, included in the bark, narrow angle of attachments, etc. And so this is just like an example of like a ficus tree with poor taper with girdling roots. This is very common in the city, especially in the downtown Soma area. You can see that this tree, you see some of the bricks at the bottom, and then the tree fell over because of the poor taper and girdling roots. And then here's just some other photos of large stems with poor unions with the included bark and narrow angles of attachment, and you can see that the tree failed. And so to get on with the hearing, this is for order number 300115. This is for 256 Bemis Street or Bemis. This is to consider the removal of 2 street trees with 1 replacement adjacent to 256 Bemis Street. The staff denied the removal and the applicant has appealed. And so here is the trees. Basically, the project proposes a new single-family home with an attached ADU on this lot. And so basically the building needs to remove the trees in order to erect the building and the ADU. And so this tree is a plum tree. It's about 20 to 35 feet, 9 inches in diameter. It's in poor condition. The crown has been previously topped, probably due to the overhead wires. And basically the lively tree that is routinely pruned for high voltage power line clearance. It's not replaceable due to being in the footprint of a new building driveway. And the appraised value is the in lieu fee, which is the $2,590. So you can kind of see in the photo, um, it's kind of far and it's kind of circled in the background, but yeah, you can see the tree, um, and it's just been topped, and in poor condition. And then so this is the second tree. This is a palm tree, um, and basically it's the same thing. The tree is in good condition, but it is a palm tree, and the there will be a replacement of one tree on the lot, and basically the palm tree appraises for $4,800. Um, and then so the public right of way is 22 feet, so those two trees are in the public right of way, and are considered street trees, so they do need a permit to be removed. And the location of the proposed tree in a different location from the removed trees and does not fit our standards for street tree replacement. But there is a tree down here that they are planning on planting, um, kind of like in the setback, because the sidewalk is not wide enough to be planted. So they will be replacing one tree in this little section over here, where this red arrow is pointing at. Um, and so some of the mitigations for this site, because of the removal of the two trees, the size of the proposed developed sidewalk width will not support the new trees at all. So the loss of green space and established trees warrants appraised value plus the cost of the new trees to be planted elsewhere in the city. So basically the $4,800 plus the $2,590 for the palm tree loss and the replacement, and then which is the $2,590 for the prunus and its replacement. So the total is for the Inlufi, and the value is $9,980. So to be consistent with how we deal with similar cases, we have approved the removal for the two trees. Or sorry, we have denied the removal. Sorry. That's it.
Okay, I have a question before you go. You said that this was for construction of a new property in a vacant lot. Was that what is that correct?
There's a section in the back where there's a vacant lot area, and so they will be building on that area, I believe.
Okay,
Like next to the home, yeah.
so they want to remove the trees on the sidewalk in order to have construction in the back.
Yeah, because it'll be a new driveway. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Is the appellant here? Applicant? Is there anyone who'd like to speak on their behalf? Okay.
Yes, you may go ahead and speak. I don't know if I unlocked the right one. I see you are listed twice in my
Uh,
attendees. Oh,
you
go
did,
ahead.
however, I do have materials to share as well.
Okay, just one moment. I'll promote you to panelist.
I think you may have promoted the wrong name.
Recording in progress.
Okay, now once you
Got
come over, yes, okay. And go ahead and uh, there you go. Okay.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can. And you're going to have to turn the volume all the way off on one of your devices because there's an echo.
Just do that. How's that? Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Okay, so once you begin speaking, I'll begin the timer and you will have 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. My name is Farhan, and I am with Winder Gibson Architects. We are here this morning just to appeal the denial of our tree permit application and are requesting to remove 2 existing street trees. This request is part of a residential project that will deliver a new single-family home and an ADU, resulting in 2 new net housing units on a currently vacant lot. This project directly supports San Francisco's housing goals, including the city's target of adding over 82,000 new units by 2031. Regards to the site, there are a couple of important factors to note. Firstly, this is a strong upslope lot, so the front property line is set back significantly from the existing curb cut, and a lot of the required excavation for this project happens between the property line and the street, which is in direct vicinity of the street trees. Secondly, the site has always been vacant, and this is due in part to the significant encroachment by the east neighboring home onto the site. These encroachments are being retained, and that highly limits the possible design solutions for adding 2 new units to this lot. The request for the tree removal is necessary due to a direct conflict with the proposed driveway as shown here and the curb cut for the garage access. Inclusion of a garage for this family's home is very important. An interior elevator extends from the garage level up to the top floor, allowing for an accessible path of travel from the street into the home for this family's aging parents. And given the existing frontage width and the central position of the trees, there was no feasible location for a code-compliant driveway that avoids this conflict entirely. Our initial site analysis indicated that the position of the new driveway towards the west of the property would be optimal given the complex site constraints of the encroachments. While this position results in the removal of the existing trees, it does improve the overall site conditions, including increased flexibility for the tree replacement location, as well as the utility coordination that we required for a project of this size. And at hearings like this, typically we want to try to address possible alternate site configurations that could allow for the retention of the trees. Unfortunately, in this case, we didn't find one, there were none. Locating the driveway further east, as shown here, was studied, but wasn't viable, as this position would result in the removal of these trees due to a substantial impact to the root structure from the new driveway location. This position would not allow for any feasible path for the utility runs to be placed either, per 30
PG&E, seconds.
SFPUC, BUF, DPW requirements. So this layout does not produce a better outcome than the previously seen proposed layout. So just to conclude everything, while we are requesting the removal of 2 street trees, they will be replaced with a new tree and result in 2 new housing units. We do respectfully request the approval of the tree removal. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members of the public who wish to comment on this item?
Yes, Mr. Clip, go ahead.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thanks. Yeah, just a quick note that San Francisco has not net gained a single street tree since 2017. In fact, we've lost hundreds. And additionally, LiDAR provided by the U.S. Forest Service and CAL FIRE indicates that San Francisco's tree canopy, which is already the smallest of any major city, is actively shrinking, not growing. So if we're really balancing the need of safety in a growing city with the need to protect and plant trees, then we wouldn't be losing canopy, because losing canopy necessarily means there is a lack of balance. And that's what's happening in this instance. We're proposing to take out trees that can't be replaced at this location, which is essentially permanently removing tree locations in our city. Regardless of what you think about these particular trees, our city cannot claim that it balances trees with the needs of our city, but also routinely approve their removal with no opportunity for replacement in situ. That's not balance. And in this case, it means we shouldn't be in the business of approving trees for removal because we couldn't figure out where else to put a driveway. And just for the record, a driveway is not a house. So let's not say that we're taking out a tree in the name of housing people, when in fact we're taking out a tree in the name of housing a car. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that want to speak on this case? Okay, if there are no further comments, I will close this item and make my recommendation to the director. The next order is 300116. May I have Public Works staff present the case?
Hello, Brian Ong, San Francisco Urban Forestry. This is for order number 300116 for 2139 Balboa Street. This is to consider the removal of 4 street trees with replacement adjacent to 2139 Balboa Street. The staff has denied the removal and the applicant has appealed. So basically, this is just a permit in the homeowner is asking to remove the trees based on the fact that the sidewalk was recently repaired by the owner, and it's causing a hazard with overhead lines and invasive roots of the species is causing damage to the property. And so basically, yeah, this is the first tree. This is a New Zealand Christmas tree. It's medium height, 9 inches in diameter, good condition. There's no major deficiencies. The sidewalk recently repaired by the owner, and there's no signs of upcoming repairs needed. There's ample room for basin expansion for any of the future sidewalk impacts. And then this is the second tree. Then again, it's another New Zealand Christmas tree. There's actually these are sites 1 through 3. They're all about 20 feet in height. DBH is 7 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. Good condition, no major deficiencies. Again, there's the homeowner recently repaired the sidewalk, and again, there's no signs of upcoming repairs that are needed. Looks like all the mitigations, like tripping hazards, were mitigated, and there is ample room for basin expansions to mitigate those impacts. And these are just some of the other photos of the trees, and they're healthy and sustainable trees. And so basically, the trees do not meet minimum departmental standards for removal. We deem regular pruning and sidewalk repair as a typical cost associated with maintaining trees in the urban environment. If and when future sidewalk repair occurs, we will assess the trees for removal at that time. Depending on the severity of the work required to repair the sidewalk, we may remove or shave the offending roots. If the work will destabilize or severely damage the tree, we will remove the tree at that time and replace with a more appropriate species. Removal is our last chance solution. If all other activities have proven insufficient, we have a mandate to maintain established trees which are already providing benefits to the city before we replace a small young tree. The small tree will take a much longer time before it returns benefits to the city. So to be consistent with how we dealt with similar cases, we have denied the removal of the 4 trees.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant here?
Hi, my name is Roy Leggett. I'm a consulting arborist. There should be an attorney for the applicant and the applicant here as well, a Mr. Weaver and a Mr. Ho.
Okay, I see the hand for Mr. Ho and I just unmuted him. There we go, Mr. Weaver.
Yeah, you might
Okay,
have Mr.
so
Weaver
I
begin,
do.
and
I
then I
have
will go
both.
second.
Mr. Weaver first. Okay. And am I going to be promoting you to panelist, Mr. Weaver, or no? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, please promote me.
Okay, just one moment. Okay, good morning. We see you.
Good morning, Ms. Harris.
Good morning.
Okay.
You tell me when we're all set to go.
Yes, we're ready. Whenever you're ready to begin, you will have 3 minutes. Each of you will have 3 minutes for your turn. Are you trying to share? Oh, there you go. It's
There we go.
happening now.
We plan to replace the existing 4 trees with a tree called Tristiana lorina. These are trees that are planted, I think, on 9th Avenue in the same basic neighborhood of my client's property. The trees in question, they're very healthy. That's the problem. This is a New Zealand Christmas tree, and they have notoriously aggressive root system. And that root system has caused past damage to the sidewalk that was repaired in 2010 by my client. Damage that was repaired in 2025 by the city of San Francisco and also by my client, because the trees have, let me kind of first of all show you the scope of the repairs. This is 2024, 2025. The green marks are damaged concrete. They go down also to this other tree in the very back of the picture. But the damage itself, this is the repair at the big tree, and there is additional repair by the small tree, and there's also repair in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, the garage was into my client's property. You can see that there's some concrete problems there. When that was taken up at the same time as the other repairs, or shortly after it, what was revealed was this root system that you see right here. This is a root from that big tree, and that root extends 30 feet beyond the tree, 30. And that root system is the kind of problem that we have. So this is the guys removing that root. It's the size of a small tree. And that's pretty typical of the Christmas tree, the New Zealand Christmas tree. It was eventually repaired by my client. And so this is the repair that was done on that. It's going to come back again. The tree is less than 10 feet away from my client's property line. That tree also caused damage in a garage adjacent to where the area was done. And so the root is also going through here. And that's
30 seconds.
So this is the second garage on my client's property, but it's adjacent to the other property, just to the left of it, where the work was done. The damage is going to continue on. It's not going to happen in the future. The damage 10 years ago that was done on my client, you can see it right here with the other stuff. And this is the tree adjacent to the large tree. So we've had damage on the large tree, the next tree, and the furthest tree down towards the corner.
That's your time. Did you want?
I just need a
Ms.
couple
Harris.
more seconds. If you just bear with me. This is pretty typical of that type of tree. If you look, this is about 5 blocks away from my client's property. The same type of tree. Look at the repairs that were done for the sidewalk. That's all the new sidewalks that was here. The problem is.
Excuse me, Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
That's the end of your time, but I just wanted to let you know the photos that you referenced did not show up, so it didn't change here during the course of the hearing. So if you would like, you can email the photos that you referenced to the email.
Ms. Harris, the email, the photos that I referenced were submitted
Okay.
to before the hearing, and also a brief of my other comments. So I would
Okay.
ask you to take a look at those.
Perfect. I will do that.
Because the damage is extensive. And these trees are notorious in San Francisco for causing damage. They're just not the appropriate tree for San Francisco.
Okay. No problem. I will take all matters into consideration. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Clerk, who is our next member of the public who would like to speak? I guess Mr. Robert
Mr.
Ho.
Roy Leggett,
Okay.
and then Mr. Robert Ho.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver.
Hi, this is Roy Leggett. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So I'm not going to try to make the technology work. It looks like Mr. Weaver's presentation is still on the screen.
I didn't promote you yet. Did you want to share something different to share?
Well, I'm not going to worry about the technology.
Okay,
Mr. Weaver informed me that my report was submitted along with his package of information.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So you should have my arborist report. I'm a consulting arborist. I work in San Francisco. And I've been working here for 38 years. Yes, I just turned 63. So I've been here for a long time doing my job assessing trees. It's not about preserving every tree in every setting. It's about managing trees to allow trees and people to coexist. The instance of Mr. Ho's property regarding what Public Works is calling Tree 4 is that his property has been severely damaged. This is the private property side. And there are photos that you will see in my report that are of new concrete adjacent to two garages. And there is a horizontal crack and then a vertical crack above that at the partitioning wall between these two garages. The building was lifted by the root that Mr. Weaver made reference to that extended 30 feet from Tree 4 and is still present under the east garage of Mr. Ho's property. So the floor has been lifted. It's also depicted in my photos, in my report as attached. There's also a drain in that floor, which is towards the back of the garage, and the area extending toward that is damaged. It wouldn't surprise me if the drain itself connecting to the sewer system is also damaged. So there is extensive damage from that tree. As to the other three trees, as well as this one, but they're all growing to become larger than the site allows. And Mr. Ho's concern is damage to his building, similar to what happened to his garage. He's concerned about further down damage, like at the entryway, the foundation, along all the way to the corner, and the fact that these trees are allowed to grow without any sort of containment that would somehow limit their ability to grow roots.
30 seconds.
And the fact that the species of tree is notorious for its root impacts and root damage. And that's supported because the city doesn't allow these trees to be planted except in large sites at this time. So I think that this is far from a large site. It's a narrow sidewalk, and there's just not enough space for these trees to mature. And the city's not maintaining them. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Leggett. And then the last one was Robert Ho. Is he still here?
Yeah, Mr. Ho is the owner.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, my name is Robert Ho. My wife and I are the owners of 2139 Balboa Street. Prior to the passage of Prop E in November 2016, we hired certified arborists every 2 years to responsibly trim and prune the 4 New Zealand Christmas trees in front of our building. In 2018, we saw the city's first scheduling of maintenance for the 4 trees on their street trees map. And that was sometimes during the period of 2020 to 2021. Because we last maintained the trees in July of 2016, we hired Bartlett tree experts to trim and prune the largest of the 4 trees in December 2018, with the expectation that the city will perform maintenance on all 4 trees in 2020. However, the first scheduled maintenance never occurred in 2020, nor 2021. It was delayed, delayed and rescheduled, delayed and rescheduled. It was not until September 13th, 2024, that any work was performed by the city on these trees. But then the work performed was completely inadequate. They only removed low-hanging branches that interfered with street cleaning vehicles. None of the work that we had hired certified arborists to perform in previous years had been performed by the city. We expected the workers to return and properly complete their job, but they did not. In June of 2025, we were shocked to discover that the city's street tree map showed the maintenance of these 4 trees was quote unquote completed. Between June of 2025 and August 2025, we had numerous email exchanges with Urban Forestry, urging them to return to properly maintain the 4 trees, but they refused. We submitted the application for tree removal permit in August 2025 because by that time, it was clear to us that the city is unable to maintain the 4 New Zealand Christmas trees in front of my property. They have allowed the 4 trees to become grossly overgrown and unsuitable for the present location. The roots of the 4 overgrown trees are a present and future risk to the foundation of our 100-year-old building. We are willing to pay for the removal of the 4 New Zealand Christmas trees and the replacement of a species that is suitable for that location. We propose that the replacement trees be small leaf Tristania trees.
30 seconds.
This species has been planted by the city across the street from 2139 Balboa. This species has also been planted by the city in front of the Zion Lutheran Church at 495 9th Avenue, approximately 10 years ago. At the church, they were the replacement trees for some unsuitable trees that were removed. We believe the unsuitable trees were New Zealand Christmas trees. I urge the
Thank
city
you.
to take the responsible and sensible course of action, avoid further unnecessary delay and costs. Please approve my application to remove and replace the 4 New Zealand Christmas trees in front of my property and replace it with a suitable species. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ho. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? Josh Clip?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, I have a deep respect for Mr. Leggett, and I also note that the 38 years of work he's done in the city is not on behalf of the city, but on behalf of his clients. And our taxpayer dollars go to public works in the hopes that they do the work of preserving the small urban canopy we have, which is again still shrinking, and it's still public works' job to defend. The reason I heard here is that the applicant doesn't like the type of tree because it has roots that created the need for repair 16 years ago, and that the city did some other type of repair 2 years ago. And so let's also go ahead and cut down the trees at this location that haven't actually caused damage because they could someday in the future potentially cause some damage. The applicants also pilloried the species writ large, which is, by the way, on the city's approved street tree list. But I know that we have lots of New Zealand Christmas trees all over San Francisco. So are we going to now just start cutting them down because they also have roots? Will we just start cutting down all trees that may cause future damage because trees have roots? Will we just start planting tiny trees that have tiny roots so that we never have to worry about anything other than the security of our great infrastructure and to heck with the climate and ecosystem benefits of medium to large trees? These are healthy, sustainable trees. Their basins can be expanded. If sidewalk repairs are needed, those are covered by the city, and there's zero reason to remove these trees, and they should remain in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other members of the public who wish to speak? Okay. So if there are no further comments, I will close this item and make my recommendation to the director. The last order of this hearing is 300118. May I have Public Works present their case?
Hello, yes, Brian Ong, San Francisco Urban Forestry. Yeah, so this is basically, this is for order number 300118 for 1325 Bosworth Street. And this is to consider the removal of 9 significant trees without replacement at 1325 Bosworth Street. The staff has approved the removal and the public has protested. And so here are the trees. There's 7 blue gum eucalyptus trees, and there's also 2 Monterey cypress trees that are in poor health. They are located on the steep grade above the houses near 1317 Bosworth Street. And the PUC previously removed some of the large section of trees which were formerly shielding these other trees from wind dynamics. And now that these trees are fully exposed to those concerns, and so the decline in the canopy vigor and many of the trees are leaning downhill and towards multiple homes. And basically, the trees will not be replaced due to limited physical access to the site, but Public Works will explore replacing the 9 replacement trees near along Bosworth and Chenery. Yeah, so these are just a few photos of the eucalyptus trees that are on the hillside by Bosworth, 1325 Bosworth. And then here are the other photos of the Monterey cypress trees. You can see at the bottom, there's one of them has like 2 stems that are causing like weak attachments. And then here's another photo of the hillside where several trees. There's another one that a tree had failed previously, and then in some of these other photos in the background, you can see some of the trees have fallen and failed already. So basically, to be consistent with how we have dealt with similar cases, the Public Works Urban Forestry has approved the removal of these trees.
I have a question, Brian. Do you know why PUC removed the other trees that were protecting these smaller ones?
Yeah, it's usually due to infrastructure. Normally, when they remove trees, they have to remove it for their infrastructure. I don't have that information right now, but yeah.
Okay.
In the past, when I've dealt with them, they had to like do work on their infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. Is that the end of your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is the appellant or here to speak? Okay, no. Are there any members of the public who would wish to comment on this item? Okay. Mr. Cliff?
Thanks. I'll be brief. I think what I just heard is not that these trees were just terrible to begin with, but that the PUC previously removed a large section of trees that shielded these trees. Because as we know, trees generally have dynamics with one another, and that can have lots to do with the sun and the wind. Anyway, the PUC took those out, probably for infrastructure. We don't know why. And now these trees are exposed to wind dynamics, and so we've got this problem. So as I hear it, it was the city that placed them in jeopardy, and now the trees are creating a problem because the city put them in jeopardy, and now we have to remove them. And by the way, we can't replace them. Just to a member of the public, like, it sounds like tree canopy malpractice. And how are they not replaceable when we planted these trees there to begin with? These types of trees are not native to San Francisco. We put them there. They were planted by human hands and they grew there. So how are they not replaceable? And I would point out this looks like exactly the kind of site where all of our very very vocal and dedicated native plant folks would love to see perhaps some coast live oaks, some California buckeyes, trees that we cannot plant along our public rights of way because they spread too much. I mean, we're creating basically this hillside with nothing on it that which we did out of tree malpractice that could cause a host of additional problems in the future, like erosion, and not even talking about looking at this as a potential site for native trees. None of this makes sense to me, and I really hope that the department reconsiders what it plans to do with this site. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any further comments? Okay, if there are no further comments, I will now close this item and make my recommendation to the director. Before closing the hearing, I want to offer one final opportunity for public comment on any item on today's agenda. This is for those who may have joined late or did not have a chance to speak earlier. Is there anyone? Okay. If there are no final comments, then I will close this hearing. This hearing is now officially closed. Thank you all for your participation.